Fuck what you know, fuck what you heard, it's all about where you're at. Welcome to Digibros.
You know, Victor, I've been thinking about deconstructing the way you do those intros. You always do them in that voice, and I was like, what is this voice that Victor always does these in?
The intro voice.
But what intro voice? Do you know what show did intros that way?
No.
Next time, or this time on X-Play.
That is
Adam
not an
says
X-Play
so.
voice. That is not my X-Play voice.
Wasn't that how they did them, though?
I was not doing that much of a character with my intro voice, okay? Yeah, you should probably turn that recording volume down.
Was that not how X-Play did them? Was it
That's
not like,
how X-Play did them. That is not how I've been doing that.
when you do the up, 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 down, down, down?
I don't know.
That's
if
how you've done
X-Play.
every intro to the show is up, 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 down, down, down. And I think X-Play did it that way.
I don't know.
I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you think that sounds like X-Play, or
you've thrown my
if you
brain
know
for a
what
loop
intro.
now. Now I'm just like,
You
what
are
am I
X-Play now.
doing in this game? I gotta go to Gerudo Fortress.
Yeah.
Oh god, here we go with this shit.
So you wanted to ask me something.
He's playing music right
Fuck
now.
are you playing? Okay.
I had to find the C buttons, okay.
What did you say before the show you wanted to ask me something?
Oh, I wanted to ask you how your chair has been.
Yeah.
Conrad got a very expensive chair
Yes.
Well, let's ask the chair how
for
it
sitting
is.
in his butt, for his butt
Yes.
to sit in.
I have spent lately. I mean, I've always spent a lot of time in my chair, but lately I've just been like
This
not
is a man
going
of
outside.
chairs. This is a man who sits in a chair.
It's true.
This is what he does. This is his thing.
He's like Professor X.
That's right, Vic. And I've also been sitting in a chair a lot.
Yes,
Lately.
you have.
More than
You've been
usual.
sitting in a chair.
So,
How's that been?
so I've had two chairs. I've had two chairs in my room for a long time. The one Brandon's sitting in was the first one.
Yeah.
no.
And that
Wow,
one's-
you actually have a computer chair for everyone now. It's the
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
that's part of
that kind of
the,
works.
Well,
It's
I was
kinda
gonna
nice.
give you that one. You
yeah,
never
but I
took it.
mean, it's nice to have more chairs in your room that don't suck ass.
Yeah. So I've got my original computer chair, which was kind of falling apart. The backs kind of gave out and shit. So, and it's got not a lot of shit. So I got a new one like a year ago, which is the one you're sitting in. And stop sniffing. You're just doing it constantly. Pick your nose.
I can't. I'm playing a game.
Oh,
Like
my God.
every time I listen to these episodes back, all I hear is you sniffing. It's like my brain
I
just
don't-
gets on that
I don't
channel,
hear
and
it.
that's
I don't
all I
pay
hear.
attention. That sounds like a you thing.
No, that's an everybody.
I gotta get off this horse. Get off the horse.
You can't.
So, anyways, yeah, that chair that you're sitting in is a good chair. It was like $70 chair,
Yeah.
and
It's alright.
it's padded and it's got breathing fabric on it, right? But
fucking shit fabric.
the back is a little bit busted, and it just was hurting my back all the time. Like
Yeah.
sitting in the chair all day is not good for you because this chair is only meant to be sat in for like 2 hours a day. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get the most expensive 8 hours plus a day chair I can find, and I did. It was like $500 after warranty.
Yes. And how has that been?
It's been all right. It's been all right.
Has it changed your life? Is your back doing good?
It changed the way I sit in a chair
Does it?
completely.
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you sit in this chair now? Because it's so weird. I can't imagine it's very comfortable to sit, like,
It's not like,
cross-legged or anything.
that much is fine. Well, it doesn't necessitate it as
Yeah.
much.
Do
Where,
you
like,
even, does it change the game? Do
Yeah.
you even need to shift positions
It
anymore?
definitely makes it so you don't need to shift positions that much.
Holy shit.
Like, I can sit in this chair all day, and I don't really have to change up the way I sit.
Chairs
It's also
have changed.
It's also that I can't change the way I sit. You can't sit in this chair weird. You
Yes.
can't do it.
It's a restricted
And
chair.
for the first few days, maybe even the first week, it was really fucking with me
Uh-huh.
that I could not sit in it. How I like just change my position because I'm used to constantly changing position and the way I sit and like sitting like way leaned back, and you can't really do that in this chair. So it's like on the one hand that was like weird, but then whenever I try to sit in that chair again, the one you're sitting in, immediately my back hurts. Like instantly, all the pain comes shooting back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like sitting in this chair is better in general, but it is awkward and weird. Right now, I'm
Shit.
sitting in it.
Oh, I
no
hate the
problem,
controls I have.
so I guess
Not
I've gotten
Metal
used
Gear
to it.
Solid Link right now.
But
The controls are really weird for trying to do this.
Oh god.
this chair also makes my shirt right up, and that's
Uh-huh.
really annoying. In the back, like it just
Woo!
always pulls my shirt up.
I
Sometimes
found
you
out
need that
recently
music.
when I was playing on the 3DS that there is a very, like, easy method to get through this place. Like, if you never get caught and you do it really right.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to already know the layout of it to pull it off.
That's usually how it is in these games.
No, because when I was younger, I thought this was fucking impossible. Like, this was always one of the hardest stages because I could never figure out, like, the layout of the place. And I never knew you could stun them with the hook shot.
Oh god.
And so,
I don't
when
think
I
I
found
knew
out
that
I could
either.
stun them with the hook shot, I was like, oh my god, this is so easy.
The same thing I felt was true about the first time, when you get captured
Oh,
at the
shit.
beginning of Wind Waker.
Uh,
That shit was
yeah,
like so
it was so hard
as
as a kid, and then it's like, it's not hard at all. It's
Yeah.
really pretty fucking easy.
All you gotta do is be fucking patient.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that we played the HD version where
Yeah.
they did like sort of make it more clear where the view radius is for the enemies, but like
Yeah.
nonetheless, it is
Shit.
obvious that
Oh,
like
fuck.
so much of how
Oh
we
my
fucked
God.
up.
Oh, what did
was,
I
like, being
lose?
patient.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know I could just get, like, my ass kicked like that.
Did I just...
Oh my god. I didn't know you could just lose the fights like that. Wow, I feel like shit now.
So we've all heard about my chair for an excessive amount of time because any amount of time was excessive for that subject.
I mean, I was curious as to how your chair. It was a very expensive chair. I'd hope it's fucking
Yeah.
changing your life.
It's interesting. I wouldn't say that I can't say I'm in love with it, but I will say
I don't
that
know
it
why
is
you'd
different.
be in love with the chair.
Right. Well, I don't know. When
Yeah.
you, it's one
A
of those
little,
things.
little weird.
It's the kind of thing where like
You feel like you should be.
because it was so expensive, you
Yes.
feel like, oh man, $500. That better be the best chair ever. But it's like, well, it's not about being the best chair. It's about being a chair that won't kill me.
It's about being a
Yeah.
good chair.
Right. It is an effective piece of
It's
life
about just
hardware.
a thing in your life not being a pain in the ass anymore.
Right,
Like, it's
yeah.
worth it for that. Just like having a nice car, where it's just like,
Or a nice
I don't
bed.
have to deal with the regular bullshit problems of having a shitty car.
But like, I'm very much a guy who I tend to save all my money and then make big quality of life purchases.
Yes.
Like, you know, the biggest purchase I made last year was this computer. I spent $900 to build a computer
And
because
now you don't have to worry about your computer
right,
anymore.
it's never a problem anymore. Like, it's been a year that I've been using it and it's just been perfect. I've had no problems with my computer at all. And so, and I think that's way more effective because I think what most people do is they make lots of small quality of life purchases and you know they're like, oh, I'm
Which
not
is
going
the
to
wrong
spend
way to do it.
right, I'm not going to spend $500 on a chair.
Because it's gonna
just a
add up on all
chair.
the little things that you buy.
Right, but then every day when your back hurts out of the chair, then you know now you've got back problems, or you wish you had a nicer chair. You know, I'd rather just save up, get the most expensive thing that I'll never have to replace, and not just because my dad has a tendency to just buy something because it's expensive.
Yeah.
And like
He doesn't
assume that that's what
research
makes it good.
what's good about it.
Right. So, like, you know, I went to the store. I sat in every chair in the store back when I bought that one that you're sitting in. And I remember having thought that this one was like, wow, this is incredible. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll buy that chair. And so I did. And hopefully,
God damn it,
improves
I'll
my
have enough
quality of
arrows.
life.
Oh my god.
I was like, fuck this.
I will say that right now my back kind of hurts, but that's because of my
Oh,
sleeping.
Jesus.
Because
Keys.
it hurt when I woke up.
You got a key.
I had a very restless, long dream about me fighting in a resistance movement and gunning
I don't
want
want
to
to hear about
people
your
down.
dream again.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you wouldn't describe it when we got to the podcast.
I knew he was gonna describe it at least.
I was like, if this motherfucker talked about his
I
dream.
just wanted to say that was what happened in the dream.
Uh,
Was my dream that like confronting to you? You were just like, don't ever talk about this again.
I was just drifting off when you were telling the story. It's the kind of thing where it's like you can't really give a lot of input on someone's dream
No,
when
I
it's like
agree.
so ridiculous, and you're just
It's-
kind of like,
Yeah,
There's
you can
only
only, like, feel
only a
more
few
like-
times when I've heard someone talk about a dream that was interesting, but it's
yeah.
I was mostly talking about it because it like affected how I woke up. Where I
Yes.
woke up all like, oh, I feel like I just ran around a fucking building shooting people all day. What the fuck?
I got a rupee. I broke a box.
But what have
Turn
you
it out.
been up to?
Here we go.
Oh man.
So,
I'm gonna tell you about last night.
to clarify, even though we've got the same arrangement, it's me, Victor, Brandon Tolentino. It's actually been like a week and a half, if
Yes,
not 2
it's been
weeks,
quite
since the last
time.
Zelda recording.
Time has happened.
The entire Little Big Planet recording and half the House of the Dead recording were
And
done
the whole
in
Pokemon
the
Snap
time,
recording,
and
right?
the whole Pokemon Snap recording. We're all done in between the last time we played Zelda.
Time has ravaged
Time
us.
has happened,
Right.
and I am feeling the effects of fucking time right now. I am stressed the fuck out in life. Have you heard anything about last night?
I heard that you bumped someone.
Yeah,
And they
okay,
made
so
a
I'll
big
get to
deal
that.
out
I'll tell the whole story of the night because it's all
Okay.
fairly entertaining, I think.
All right.
But, so last night, I was shooting a gig. I was doing this, like, the guy who directed the short film I just worked on, Derek Ford, he directed The Joneses, we've talked about his movies and stuff
Yes.
before. He put out an ad on Facebook where he was just saying, I'm looking for someone with a 5D to shoot this thing I'm doing as a favor for a friend. So of course I responded to it like, I have a 5D, I'll work, I'll do
Right.
any fucking work, I will do anything. So, you know, he brought me on with this, and then, like, I'd been expecting it all week to go shoot this thing with him. He said, all he told me about it was that it was some kind of weird, like, 4-hour-long concert with an intermission that had, like, fire breathers and, like, weird stuff, and he said it was gonna be super cheesy, and I probably think it was really stupid. And that's all I knew about it. And then, that day, the day of, he tells me that my film professor, the department chair, who is also, you know, he worked on the short film with us and everything, and he's my big professor for all of my classes, you know, I interact with him all the fucking time, and he's kind of like a prudish, like, pretentious guy, and he is gonna be shooting this with us, which I'm like, oh shit, and of course for me it's like instantly a competition to see if I could get better footage than him, but, so I'm at this concert, you know, I meet up with them, and very quickly I'm noticing that there are girls walking around wearing nothing but glitter on their boobs, like, this is a pretty, like,
Racy.
racy event. And so it turns out this is a metal cover band / like, burlesque circus show. And it's, like, chicks dancing on stripper poles, like, BDSM displays, like, fire things. It's all super cheesy and stupid. They're playing, like, new metal shit. They're playing, like, fucking Alice in Chains and, like, Tool and Disturbed. And it's the stupidest thing in the world. And
This
I'm
sounds
here.
awesome to me.
It
That's all I'm
was
hearing.
awesome. It was so fun to shoot because it's like, how often do you get to shoot like random shit like strippers
Right.
and like weird shit? And it got a lot of cool camera angles and like chicks doing hula hoops a lot. And it was all very corny and like the director explained to me, he's like, it's his friend who's obviously having like a midlife crisis and decided to start doing this thing, and it's fucking ridiculous. But it's just the idea to me that I was shooting this with like this prudish professor guy and like this random director, and it was the weirdest thing in the world. But yeah, I definitely had a blast filming that and getting all kinds of camera angles. This is another thing where it's really fun to shoot like these small gigs because I can pretty much walk around and do whatever the fuck I want and like get on the stage and get camera angles and stuff, and like nobody really cares. So it's a lot of fun for me. But then after the film, I'm backing out of the parking lot. I'm super fucking tired. I'm ready to go home. It's this tiny fucking shitty beach parking lot. Like
What time is
it's
it?
impossible to get out. It's 12:30 at night. That show went on from 8 to 12. 4 fucking hour show. Oh god, now I'm spacing out on Gerudo Fortress because I'm telling a story. So bear with me. But I'm backing out and I barely tap the back of this guy's car. Like barely, like slight noise. I didn't even realize I'd hit anything, and then I see the guy getting out. I'm like, oh shit, I have to deal with this. I get out, you know, I pull forward, I look at our cars, I'm like, oh, nothing's wrong. Like, I'm expecting this guy to just get back in his car and be like, whatever, you know, not a big deal. There's absolutely no damage to these cars. But then he starts mumbling like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I gotta do this. This isn't my car, this is my car. And I'm like, shit. So, like, what is this guy gonna get my information or whatever? Are we just gonna exchange information? So we're exchanging information. And then I realize this guy is calling the police. And I'm like, wait, why the fuck does he need to call the police? There's no damage. Nothing has happened. Like, we could just get each other's information and go on with our day. And so I ended up having to deal with the police and fucking...
Just like this.
Yes,
Exactly like
just
what
like this.
happened.
Some bullshit, because it turns out this guy was driving his brother's car without permission, so he had to get all this information because obviously his brother's gonna be pissed. So I end up spending an hour fucking dealing with the police, trying to get out of there. The police were just like,
Even
like,
though he probably could have got away with not saying anything to his brother about getting
exactly,
hit.
because there was no damage. There's nothing there. So it's like, you're a fucking dipshit for one. He seemed like a stupid fuck. Like he talked extremely slow and he seemed stupid as shit. But I'm not just gonna rag on this guy like I just have. But
sounds like he deserves it. He fucking wasted your time, wasted the police's time.
He wasted everyone's fucking
asshole.
time. It's so stupid. And then 3 police cars showed up because they said they were bored. They have nothing to do, and so all these police cars just show up because
literally
nothing's
because
going
they
on.
were bored.
Literally because there was nothing else to do. These people show up, and it's just this whole thing. The police are just kind of like, what the fuck? And then, you know, finally get it over with. I drive home. I'm pissed off. I'm super fucking tired. I ended up like forgetting to do my homework and fucking bombed a quiz today, which I fucking hate. That I'm finally stressed out enough that it's destroying my school life. But then. So I get a call today from the guy. Turns out I gave him the wrong insurance information. I give him the information again. And then Dad goes and calls Geico. And it turns out the guy had already contacted Geico. Now he's saying that he's sustained an injury. Which is fucking bullshit. Because I have these little police report things where it's like they fill it out. And it says on there, on his copy, that he did not receive an injury. So it's like, you already fucking lied. You're pretty much fucked. And then, like, the people at Geico were like, we don't tolerate this kind of shit. Like, this is obviously fraud, and we're gonna pretty much fuck him completely.
Damn.
So it's like, this guy is gonna get fucked over if he tries to sue me on this. And it's like, why? Why do people have to be so shitty and just, like, shit on people's day and try to get money out of them and waste their fucking time? And it's so stressful. Because I'm already doing so much in life, and then this bullshit has to come out and just make everything so much more difficult.
I bet you anything this asshole, like, told his brother, and his brother's like, oh, you should milk them for all their worth,
I'm
man.
fucking sure. They probably saw me as some, you know, fucking rich kid driving a nice car. And fucking, like, I obviously didn't give a shit, so that probably did not help my rich kid mentality, where I was just kind of, like, so baffled that this guy even gave a shit, because, like, this kind of stuff has happened before and nobody ever gives a shit. And it's like, oh my fucking god, are you serious? Alright, let me focus on Gerudo Fortress. That was my story. I'm very pissed off, as you can fucking tell. My life is stressful as shit right now. I'm doing all kinds of things.
Well,
irons in the fire.
That story
Liquid
makes a
stress.
good place to end this episode of Dig.
Wait.